Ah, my friend, you have deserted the seas for the comforts land has to offer. Welcome home. Aye, it was time. If not for the passing, my torch would be extinguished. Can you truly give up what she offers? Her countless mysteries, her beauty, her treachery, all found in the journey which is most precious of all. Aye, my heart fractures. A new generation must conquer the unknown in my stead. I'm glad you made it, my friend. But I must ask, where did you send those young men? Currents beyond memory. We've tread them before. Like many things once essential, they have been lost. Surely you haven't sent them into uncharted waters. Safety is readily available in the mainstream. Many ships and a sure passage. Nay. Untold scores of brave men created the path. Us amongst them. Where once innovation and creativity where now stands idle bootlickers and hapless cowards.
Yeah.
So nay, I did not send them to the mainstream. I've simply given them a heading. They may fail. Aye, they may. 'Tis the risk of great men. But a new age is here. In its course will be set upon the iron seas of fate.
Master.
And to these brave men and women I say, Godspeed, and hail the Iron Age!
Tasty.
Don't forget the upload.
There we go. That fixed that anyway. Welcome to the Iron Seas Podcast. It is I, the Ultimate Kahuna, hosting this week, and I am joined by my co-host. Join me, brothers. Yes.
What's going on?
What's Emily doing here? He wasn't in the intro.
We all agreed we would be shirtless for this episode. What happened? I feel betrayed.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I think you've been on it.
Anytime that anyway. It's for the eye candy, guys. We gotta bring in the female crowd as well.
We really gotta we gotta push that. We gotta we
really gotta hit those every demographic here. Yeah, like that Magic Mike demographic. That's what I bring to the table. I don't know about you guys, but gentlemen, how are you guys doing today?
Apes follow Koba now.
What?
Apes follow.
I'm butthurt, man. It's late. It got late super quick. I got 2 tickets on my freaking way back home.
No way.
Yeah, for BS reason too. I don't want to get into it, but I'm pissed.
I deserve tickets and I don't have them.
Yeah.
C-Bats. I already did C-Bats. I was the only one. No, anyway. Oh. Can you speak, Evely?
Are you muted, Evie?
No, he didn't restart it. He didn't restart the computer. It's not going to work until he restarts the computer. You're going to tell him over and over and over again until he restarts the computer. And it's not going to work. Guys, backstage, I've been yelling at this guy to restart the computer. Oh no, it's going to take too long. It's going to take too long.
Wait, we could just sound off for him. Anyway, guys, I forgot to shave today. Really, the beard really takes away from my feminine features. I don't know, guys. Some technology, right?
All I hear is I'm a Chad.
Yeah.
I'm a music
Oh my
guy.
god, what's happening? My computer's not well. Somebody help.
Yeah.
Actually, I got a bunch of new videos. There's got to be something in here. Oh, yeah. Here's So I have all these clips in here. I have to decide what they're all called. This one I just said liberal sad. That's all.
Yeah.
So what? Last week we held a poll as to who would win the post-apocalypse movie of the week, and obviously the best film won. Obviously, amongst
obviously.
selection.
Oh wait, 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. I just realized I need to get in the short bus. That's kind of my thing. I'm always running the short bus.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
For your
real
movie.
Oh, who's that? Riding along with me today. That's AC.
Yeah, the people.
What's he doing in here?
They were doing propaganda out the dude. I thought I won. I was like, it's late at night. I can't sleep. I'm sick as a dog. I'm gonna make propaganda. Like AC wakes up. He's like, this means war.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
behind the scenes, we everyone but Kahuna wanted to watch Mad Max instead of Planet of the Apes. But this guy, starts doing the propaganda war, but he does it like the wrong way. It's like the one team member, like on the opposite team, being like, "Wait, why are you helping me?"
Feminism.
Feminism. That'll win him over.
What?
That'll get the vote.
I was trying to be realistic.
Tough crowd.
I was trying to be realistic with my propaganda.
Oh, realistic. Yeah.
Truth be told, it was great. It gave me my position. He's for feminism. We don't want a woman, one-armed, bald woman riding this bus. It's all about the patriarch.
Yes.
Family values, even with hairy apes.
Yes, he's here.
Hey,
Mr. Evelyn.
Did he restart?
Yay!
Thumbs up, man.
Yeah, I liked it better when we couldn't hear him. Honestly,
I feel more comfortable now because now, there's nobody who wanted to watch Mad Max more than Evelyn.
That just makes you a beta cuck.
I was pumped and excited, and boy, I was not disappointed. Not at all.
You say you were pumping yourself for Mad Max? Is that what I heard?
I honestly went into it. I missed the conversation, Lena. If we're talking about Mad Max, I was going into it being like, I'm gonna hate this movie, but as long as there's awesome cars doing twisted metal in the desert, I'm gonna have a good time. And I didn't really.
We weren't there yet. Quite.
Yeah, we were saying how bad we all wanted to watch Mad Max.
Sorry.
Apes. Instead of the apes.
Yeah, instead of Planet of the Apes, but because of AC's dumbass campaign that's earned him a spot in the bus. Yeah.
Catch me up,
Yeah, well, like he's so much better at graphic design and doing image stuff than I am. Like all I would just do, like I would do the best I could, and then he'd come out with something like 10 times better. I'm like, you know what? I gotta make it simple. Like his poster, gay, diagonally across.
Yeah, gay.
It's like work smarter, not harder, man. That's all I got.
Dude, exactly, and it made the campaign fun. I like I said, I wanted to be as pandering and you know, I don't know what the word is. Just as pandering as actual propaganda is and ignorant.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So like if I could like overdo it as much as I could, I tried to. Like
Ryan McCoppin,
Still not a winning strategy.
You are tremendously based for doing this. Based. But yes, Apes won. So we all watched Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, correct? We all did our
There's
homework.
a better series with Dawn in it. Just saying, way better sci-fi.
Anyway, I know. In this crowd, I'm probably. Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, that you keep on bringing out that book like it's somebody who matters heavily.
Dude, that's some really good CGI. I'm really impressed with it every time.
All right.
Dawn Edge, and it sounds so much better than Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. You know,
it sounds like you're edging on with the Dawn. That's what it sounds
exactly.
like.
That's the exact kind of experience you get reading that book.
Oh yeah, so we're bringing up the propaganda here.
Yeah.
This is we got some propaganda.
Yeah, I go to sleep and you guys are like going back and forth with memes at each other.
Yep.
I was like, wait a second.
Go get them, ladies.
Go get them.
It's great because like women are so oppressed in Mad Max.
So oppressed. Supermodels who are all they have to do is sit there and get pregnant. Oppressed. Anyway.
Actually,
yeah.
How did she lose her arm? Can we get an origin story of that?
Yeah.
What about the pain on her head?
Everybody
can we get an origin story of that?
Yeah, everybody asked for it, clearly.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
No, she actually was in an arm wrestling match with Chris Hemsworth, and he just like 3 seconds into the match just snapped it off, you know.
It's like that was a real accident on set too. They no way to anticipate that. Also here, this is one of the you don't need a bald woman in the desert to lead you. You need someone strong, selfless, bold. You need.
And watching this, like begging people to vote not for Ape, and you're just like, oh, here comes another picture. Oh, there goes another vote. The vote counter always went for Apes every time he posted a damn meme.
Yeah.
Now there was a moment where I was worried that I was going to lose the poll. So I definitely voted with one vote for my alternate account. Sure.
Damn, I knew it.
But to be fair, I can't vote on my own poll. So
that's true. Yeah. So that counts.
Did he freeze?
Oh, there it is.
All right, you froze there for a while. You're up.
Oh yeah. And then there's this one. The movie we need. Like, see, look how nice his looks. Like all of mine was just like dumb.
That's good. That's good. We're that. We could have won.
This was the first one to get everybody's attention, and then I had to.
It was, and then but then the problem is I followed it up with something infinitely better. This.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
You guys are just lucky I wasn't ahead of the game, because I freaking whatever that movie I picked, that would have won.
The worst movie of the bunch. You weren't even going to get the black vote.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Such an inspirational father-son movie.
Yeah, his speech on fear is like Oscar worthy.
Exactly.
I think that's the better though.
This is like this one I'm presenting right now is like fourth generation vandalism. First, I took an actual movie poster and I just simply added one choice, humanity, to it.
Yep, and then I changed it, and then he came in. It's like he came in. I'm like, what the hell what is this, dude? This is this is just one poster that's been taken advantage of over and over again.
For real.
Hey, real quick, say what's up to the chat, because we tend to skip that.
Yeah.
Got a bunch of people rolled in.
Hail the chat. We have JVP, RH Snow, Seabats, Timo Burnham, Brian McCoppin. A bunch of sexy little double dippers in there, too. How you guys doing? How's everybody doing?
Hey. Yes, Warren's in there, too.
Hell yeah, man.
My lovely wife has Pritchard Pub. Hail.
Oh,
sweet.
it's
Alicia,
confusing because I
Bernie,
always
Books
just think
too,
it's
the
you.
Whole thing, man. Actually, whenever it's Pritchard Pub, I'm like, this is Katie. Because you have your own account. Sometimes you'll watch stuff. It's like, this is like, how do you react to so much love in the chat?
How long were you waiting to use that? How long were you waiting to use that, you son of a bitch?
I've been looking for, like, no joke, I've been looking for a chicken that makes the proper sound for like 2 years now. I just happened upon it at a place where, like, a supply chain store where we get materials for my work. I'm like, it makes the right sound. How much is it? Like $7? No problem. I almost bought 3 of them. It was great.
Well, you gotta. You gotta.
But anyway, that's how I respond to you, chat. That's how much I love you. That much. Whatever that means. Yeah. Take it how you will. Take it how you will.
All right. So let's talk Planet of the Apes. Let's talk about the movie we voted on.
Real quick.
Yeah, and there's more. There's more.
Well,
yeah.
Oh, there's more.
Most secure. Oh, there are many more. Most secure. I love that one.
That last one was the one that you showed me where I was like, did you post this yet? On. Yeah. I was like,
if you don't post it, I will.
Yeah. And I was like, why don't I just post my own?
I mean, like, to be fair, I took an hour editing a video as well. Like, it's pretty hardcore. It's pretty hardcore.
This one here, I was like, this is where I started really catching my stride with the catchphrases. As like a vocalist and a lyricist, I was like, I'm gonna have fun with this.
Oh, thanks, Snow. Thanks for hanging out. Be safe in the storms over there, by the way. That looks awful. Like, you've been posting daily updates and everybody's like homes are getting destroyed. That's rough, man. Be safe, RH.
Something like 40 something different cloud seeding projects active in America right now. That's just America. If I would have said that if I would have said chemtrails like 10 years ago, people would have been like, you crazy. People are still like, you crazy, you know. But
I'm only barely out of that. Like, I'm still verging on that's crazy. But no, I'm down to clown with that now.
Yeah. Well, when you have the government talking about like 40 different projects doing it, it's like, and that's just.
I was gonna say, Brian, I think he got voted in 2000. I can't say that. That's fun. I can't. I let the intrusive thoughts win.
Too much. Oh my
Cancel
God.
Kahuna. Canceled. You can't make that joke.
Voted 2016, yeah.
We're talking about Bush, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
For sure.
He has that monkey face, for sure.
Yeah, 2004, circa, yeah. Right after 9/11, airlines tanked. Right after that,
yeah.
That's a terrible name for an airline.
Drive
Reminds me of a horrible accident.
Gotta go pick up my stupid what?
That came out wrong. I'm like,
confused.
I'm here screaming and having fun.
It's like ACU, okay?
Oh, I forgot to tell AC. Sorry.
Play the beta cuck video.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta.
That just makes you a beta cuck.
Excellent. Totally my attitude too. Excellent.
Yeah. Excellent.
Remember, Mad Max Fury Road is not a Mad Max movie. The Max is the boomerang kind from Marmax 2.
Marmax 2.
Marmax. I love Marmax.
Yeah, we'll
like
get
Marmax?
into Mad Max as a subject a little bit later, I think.
Yeah. Almost. We were just doing a little bit of propaganda. I think I have at least one more to share, but
I have several, but I can I can do this all day.
This is like this is a 2-day poll, and we were fighting for like the last half of that thing, man.
Yeah, it was like a promotional tactic all week, and
don't worry, human hood ornaments. You can vote for a superior film.
I loved this. I was like, this is legitimately clever.
And it's a
No,
legit,
Max.
and it's a legit criticism of your film too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It is. It's like anti-human, like, and I'm over here saying humanity. Yeah, dude, I loved how we kept using our own arguments against each other.
Oh yeah, for sure. You're like, you can't let the apes win. I'm like, you really want to be a human hood ornament? Sure.
Yeah, I know, right? And I'm like, they're gonna enslave us, and you're like,
And then he went like full like scorched earth. Think of the slave children in our film.
do you
Not
see
my-
what I mean?
No,
This might be your best anti-me propaganda you made. This might be the best one.
All propaganda is anti-me propaganda. 'cause it's so
Wieners?
fucking
Great
stupid.
question, Brian. I'm not really sure. Possibly. Crippling regret.
Yeah, here I had to pander to the family crowd. You know, I had to win myself over. I was like,
These are the children you
I wanna
chose
say-
to show.
Look,
yes, it is. Yeah.
we have an extremely limited reach. We're not reaching the people in it for the children, the people in it for the women.
Oh yeah, wait, I do have to show the OG one
Yes.
before you messed it up. Yeah, let's see.
Yes,
Get rid of this.
and then I'll show the mess up.
Yeah, because he made this one and then I covered it up and added a couple more words. I really thought this really brought my message across. One choice. The only thing worse than a miscast is a woman driving.
I was like,
Vote for
"Ooh."
Ape. Apes together strong.
I was like, you got me. You dropped the
Hey.
name in there too.
You know, he's got a point. He's got a point. It's together
The only-
strong.
The only meme Mad Max has is Witness Me, so that's why I had to do Witness Me on this poster where you pulled the meme out. I had to pull my meme out and combat it.
Wait, no.
Why are we talking about
Mad
wieners
Max
in
have
the
a
chat?
lot of memes.
Why are there so many wieners in the chat? I got
Dude, the
questions.
chat gets real random sometimes. You look over and you're like, what are
Yeah.
they talking about? Like one
I
time
know, but
talking about,
normally
like,
you see that from a
homosexuality in
chat where
Rome.
there's like thousands of people, not from like 45 like we definitely have now. 45 people. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I was super proud of this vandalism here on your poster because it's like one of your nicest posters, and then I just fucked it up big time.
Oh
And I
yeah,
even
this
had-
is one of my good ones. Too, yeah.
Dude, you gotta love. Damn,
Damn.
cherry on top. Cherry on top. Damn dirty apes. Like, come on. Damn patriarch. Yes.
Down with Caesar. You know that this sounds like in-world propaganda from Dawn of the Planet from the
Yes.
Apes universe actually.
It
So
does.
it kind of works, man.
I was, dude.
It's
I had
like
so
it's
much
like
fun.
what in the third one they refer to him like his military code name is Kong. And yeah, no, that's the whole thing.
It's a little. Yeah.
But anyway, that's enough propaganda here. Let's
yeah. Now let's
get rid
actually
of that.
discuss. Yes.
Yeah, too much. We don't want to.
Yeah, let's get out of the propaganda. Let's get back to the U.S. politics. All right.
Yeah. No more propaganda.
Let's talk about what really matters.
Yeah.
Apes and the dawn of them.
The dawn of them.
Dawn is the second movie out of this trilogy.
Yeah, not
first one-
typically named Dawn for a second.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
The first one, there's a drug
hell
that
out
is
of it.
developed that allows apes not only to become super intelligent, but also gives them human eyes, which are still like haunting my thoughts to this point in time after seeing that movie. Y'all catch that? They don't have monkey eyes; they have human eyes. It's weird. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's because they're getting smarter. That's the whole idea.
So their eyes look
Yeah,
like
their eyes
yours and
don't-
mine. That's
They like change their retinas and.
So the
shit.
monkeys become smart. If anybody has a better recap of the first movie, because I haven't seen it in forever, but the monkeys get
Yeah.
smart through testing, and then they escape and they run to the woods, right?
Okay.
Yeah, they get smart through Alzheimer's.
Emily, that is
experiments.
the best summary I've ever. But what happens
you.
was they were experimenting. There was a developmental virus style drug that was being developed to counter Alzheimer's and to possibly reverse the effects. And when the apes were being tested, something goes wrong with the ape. The ape freaks out, breaks out, and they end up putting on the ape. They shut down the whole program. Turns out the ape was pregnant, had a baby, and the virus had attached itself to its genetics. So the baby was born with this kind of virus in its system.
Oh,
And
like
that's
an
how it-
anomaly. Yeah.
Well, no, that's how it works. Like if you look at the human genetics, like viruses make up a large portion of human genetics in the systems within some of our cells. So
Yes,
that like
we carry to our children the code to defend against the virus. Yeah.
yeah,
Or at least the
and
mother
then
does.
some of them have actually integrated fully into our system. That's They theorize that's where the mitochondria came into. Like that was once a foreign entity as well.
Well,
I don't know if that's true. That's just something I've heard. But
it makes sense because viruses contain DNA, and the way this past COVID shot worked was
I'm going to say
with
yes.
the RNA.
Ryan. It's not confirmed, but I'm going to say yes.
RNA a little different than DNA, but
That's canon now.
they kind
Brian.
of coincide.
That's canon now in my mind. This Mad Max actually takes place
Yeah.
after Planet of the Apes. That's when it takes place.
See, this wasn't a gain of function research. I don't remember. I didn't watch the first one over again, but I'm like, so why didn't they just put the ape down?
Yeah,
She broke out and was acting very aggressive. She broke into a
So they
meeting
didn't
of
put
the
her
board
down.
member. They did put her down. Her baby they found afterwards, and
How did
it
they
was
find the baby afterwards?
The baby was. It was like underneath. It was.
What?
It's like the baby's like
What?
this big. It was underneath something.
They didn't
The
see it give birth after it died. Like what? It's a berserk baby.
It happens, man. My buddy, he had a cow the other day. They didn't even know the cow was pregnant. Anyway,
Yeah, but like I'm sure they found out after it popped out.
Yeah.
oh yeah, but like
Like,
hours later. But anyway,
Wait, was the baby? The baby was out already though, or
the
killed
mother
it?
gets shot. They shut down the program. Basically they go back to the drawing board. Something went wrong with it, obviously, and so he puts the guy in charge of that puts down all the apes. He finds out there was a baby and that it was just the mother was being protective, not aggressive. And so he's like, I can't put down this baby chip after doing it like
Gotcha.
15
All right, so
times
he's the
over.
one that put it down. So he
And so the
smuggled
doctor,
it.
for lack of something else to do
Fauci'd
and
him.
not wanting to kill him himself, he brings him home. And then he ends up raising this ape. And this ape is displaying the intelligence of a child, but because apes mature faster, it's even faster. It's developing even faster than a human child.
So a virus made it smarter.
Yes,
I'm-
because
And
there was a
David
side
Human
there's a
vocal
si-
cords.
like there was a side effect. Shush. There was a side effect of the virus. It didn't only fight Alzheimer's; it strengthened the connection between neurons and helped them shoot faster, basically. So it actually increased intelligence, and that was the idea anyway. So years later, the chimp he ends up getting taken away. And then his the main character, James Franco's father, who had Alzheimer's, the reason he was trying to develop this in the first place, the virus starts failing. Like the body built up a resistance to it at some point, and so his Alzheimer's comes back with a vengeance, and
as it does.
and then he dies. And so, but the company, they're like, hey, they find out about it, like, hey, this worked. You were treating your father illegally for years. Help us develop a better, more aggressive strain of this virus, and so they do. The problem is the human biome is weaker and less resistant to disease than apes. And so the new
Okay,
version
all right. The first one happens. There's now we're in the forest and there's a bunch of smart apes for whatever gobbledygook reason. they struggle to hunt down some deer and then they run across some humans.
He
So
taught him all
let's
sign
start
language.
there. I don't care about the first one. I didn't watch it. James Franco, I guess, is saved a baby monkey and created the biggest genocide of all time.
the virus wiped out like 90% of all people.
Yeah, that was
and then
the other
a whole
part
bunch
of
of
this
other
movie
people.
that I totally forgot. I was watching the recap. I thought the monkeys just got smart. I didn't realize that they also created a virus that was killing humans. And then
Yeah,
The
the
monkeys
humans
didn't
did.
create it. The humans created it. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
granted-
whatever.
yeah.
It's whatever. We're here. It starts off with them hunting like some deer, and then they run across some humans, and like the humans get scared, and they accidentally shoot one of them, and it's like barely a scratch, but then they get all butt hurt.
Well,
And
yeah,
then tension starts to rise.
Someone attacks your child, like
Yeah,
I'd be
Caesar
pissed
understands the potential of a gun. He
Yeah.
sees what that does, and he understands the potential of it. And I mean, it went down a lot better.
Yeah, but he
than
can't
a lot
comprehend.
Of
Yeah, he
human
can't comprehend that. Like, an accident happened. Like he comprehended that, and then he's like, they're super upset because he got grazed on the shoulder instead of killed. I'm like, it would have been a lot better narratively if he had killed the ape by accident. But I'm sure they didn't want to commit to
Koba
that.
couldn't have killed like that. The one who got shot was Ash, and Ash is the one that Koba throws off the balcony later.
Dude, that
Okay,
scene is so
have another
metal.
monkey. Have another monkey.
That scene is so visceral and fucking
Yeah.
real when he throws that monkey off. Like my wife
Oh.
my wife struggled to watch it because there was all the animal violence.
Oh, that movie. That movie's it's
was
hard.
very
It's rough.
real.
It's rough. It's
very real.
Like the action doesn't feel like an action movie to me. It just feels like
Like you're watching it.
like the scene when Koba leads the apes to avenge Caesar and attack the, like it just felt like a war scene from another movie.
Yeah, dude.
It was,
I actually
a
was,
bad
like,
war movie.
oh shush, Bats.
Okay, so I'm the negative Nancy on most things.
So anyway, we're still talking about we're still talking about
Silencing me, huh?
It's-
Back to American politics, huh?
Back to American politics.
Anyway,
No, I think that, like, to me, that little war scene that happened was probably one of the weakest parts of the movie.
Are you talking about the end?
I get what's that?
You talking about the end when they finally have guns, or are you talking about an earlier
When they
war
finally
scene?
have guns, yeah. I thought there were some like look, I didn't think the movie was terrible, but I thought there were some like things that occurred in the movie to lead up to the tension that rose, which could have been done a lot better. I don't like when characters that shouldn't be in a place are forced into a place. Like the guy who was obviously gun trigger happy and like wanted to kill the apes, and yet they brought him along to fix the dam. They could have easily fixed that by saying that, well, he's our only dam repair guy.
they did say that,
And then what?
they did.
Did I miss that?
Yeah, you did.
Oh. Okay.
Wrong.
No, was he a repair? Like, because I didn't even remember him repairing anything.
he had worked for Public Works, and he was familiar. He's the only one familiar with the dam systems and how it worked.
Okay, all right.
And so
that makes
he
sense.
did need to be there, and it's a throwaway line, but it is there, and it's during conversation when they're preparing to leave again, basically.
Yeah.
It's like she. I think it's the woman she brings up. Do we have to bring Carver? He's pretty nervous about this whole thing. He's the only one who worked at Public Works. He's the only one who really knows how that system works. And
I might have been cooking dinner at that point or something.
That's how I was
My
with Halo.
bad.
I was like, I'm just gonna let all of this garbage play, and I'm gonna like write or something. And I like chimed in every now and then. Waited about 10 seconds until something disrespectful popped on, and then I was like, okay, back to writing. And just I was kind of paying attention to Halo.
No, there were some things that I enjoyed, but do we want to, like, before we really get into some of the details, do we kind of want to like summarize the plot for people?
Humanity's almost wiped out. They've like the society we meet in San Francisco has just come back from the brink of total chaos, like where it's just bands of Mad Max style people roving around killing each other. They're trying to rebuild society, but they because they're human, they're not as adept living in nature like the apes are. The apes have built their own separate society. It's been 5 years since they've even seen a person. And then circumstance brings them together, and they have some rough encounters. And because of some bad actors on both sides, the negotiations end up breaking down. And truth be told, it's kind of the apes' fault. It was Koba. Koba orchestrated this whole thing. He let his fear of what could happen, the fear of what he believed would happen, and his hatred poison the other apes against the humans and lead this false revolt of sorts.
Yeah,
I
liked Koba. I liked Koba for the most part throughout the movie. I thought like that was well done. What I didn't like was something with like the humans, like when the apes went to go steal the weapons, and the humans had probably the worst security of all time and the worst armory of all time. Like
2 dudes to guard the weapons.
They had more, but they were all scouts? In like separate pockets. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
They have to like cross a bridge to get to them. Like nobody's keeping like, hey, like
wait. Just tell your wife yes. I don't know.
May as well be, yeah.
That's what he's famous for.
The humans in San Francisco area, they're all immune. That was the thing they had in common. Like they're not virus because they're immune. They're some kind of
they're
all apparently retarded too.
Well, I'm sorry. Like
you just had like some intelligent apes just ride up on fucking horses into your base, being like, "Hey, we like tensions are high," and they're like, "Okay, we're not going to up our security or anything for at least a couple weeks.
I
he
really
just did the monkeys.
liked that scene when they roll up.
Great scene.
That was a brilliant scene. I
Again, I think everything that the monkeys did for the most part was really done pretty well in this movie. It's like just the humans' reactions was just like, guys, what are we doing here?
Like it goes from the monkeys having like sign language communication, and you're forced to read it, so you get like really into the conversation and stuff. And they do like a good job, like the emotions, the human eyes, like Evie was saying earlier. And,
the motion capture and the acting on the physical acting on behalf of the ape actors. Holy fuck, dude!
And then it goes to the humans, and it's like, no, just bring it back to the apes. You know what I mean?
It's one of those movies. It's kind of like a King Kong movie or a Godzilla movie. It's like the humans. It's not quite that bad. Like I do enjoy the human characters. I thought Gary Oldman did a good job. He just seemed like a really stressed out guy who was trying his best.
That was the most stressed out Gary Oldman I've ever seen.
I know. He's almost always plays like either a confident good guy or a really confident bad guy.
I just remember something. So like a lot of the things that they needed the power for, which was a little bit ridiculous. What's up, Richard? So like remember the power goes on, you have this really touching feeling because the guy's tablet goes he gets power to his tablet finally, and he can finally see pictures of his daughter or his kid or whatever.
His kids, yeah.
And it's like really touching moment, but I'm like, you have power. This is not new. Like it's not like the dam is like a different kind of energy that can power the tablet. You guys have generators. Do you not know how fucking generators work? Like it's just a different source of power. Am I retarded for thinking that?
The books get into it a little bit. Like basically, generators are only used for very specific things. Because at this point, all gas has gone bad.
Yeah, the books get into it. Yeah.
But this, like, you can also use your brain a little, Joe. Like, they're not running everything.
Nobody's gonna lose it if the guy charges his tablet for fucking 2 minutes.
But then that's everybody charging their tablet, and then chaos.
No, he's the freaking like president. He'd be like, "Oh, I need it."
You know what I love about these arguments?
It's okay. It's okay. You can try to silence. They built strength.
I have a voice.
You try to silence me, and I get stronger.
Kahuna, you'll martyr him.
Like, and Evely and I talked about this privately too. Like, he and my father have a similar kind of view of it, which is the apes are creepy, and yes, they kind of are. That is kind of part of the point. But I don't view the movie through the lens of apes versus humans. I view it as characters and the choices they kind of make, and the reasons they make the choices, and whether they're believable or not, how the dynamics develop, and how well it's acted, how well the music does it, I'm watching, I'm like, am I sucked into the story, or am I thinking about the story? And for a movie like this, I am sucked into the story.
Let's just remember, it was a pivotal plot point that they needed to communicate outside of San Francisco. They needed to use the radios, right?
See,
they couldn't use the radios before with the generators.
Apparently not.
No, they need special dam water energy power, huh?
Oh.
I don't know. Like when I pick up something like that, I'm like, why? Because what you do is you take all this other good stuff that the movie has, and I'm just like, it's just like too stupid. You know, it's like Armageddon when they train miners or oil riggers to be astronauts. You're like, what?
As a child, I cried to Armageddon, so you shut your mouth.
You shut your whore mouth.
It's the kind of thing, too, to your point, that would be easy enough to write in there. Just throw in an extra line, or have it be like, oh, we don't have radios. They're only in the dam, and we can't take them out. Like, they're attached to
it's like
dam.
they have
They
radios.
didn't need the radio point. They didn't need the radio point. They could just take the radios out and just we need power to keep.
They did
order.
talk about that they needed a pretty for the long range radio thing, which is what they're trying to set up. They did need a more substantial power source. It was something they talked about.
Oh yeah, because dams are more substantial power than
well, they're not even power. It's not powering the entire city. It's just like their little hub. But alas,
they can't get power for that. Yeah.
Now, Joe, I'll break this down. If this movie was bad, I would be much like if there are things that like character and story things that I didn't like, or weird politic things,
Yes.
I would be a bit more with you with some of these criticisms, but because I like the
totally
movie,
agree.
I'm able to set that stuff aside.
And here's the thing. Like this is like where it's like, yes, it's your opinions based on objective facts of like what's good and bad. Like we can agree that power thing is a bad story writing, but some people it's gonna turn over. And I think for most people that aren't me, it's probably not gonna flip it to a bad movie.
Well, it's because they don't really go into, like, they could have gone into the details, but so like if they do, it gets worse. If they get into the details, it gets worse. There's just better ways. Say they did go into it and try to explain it. For people, no, just hear me out. Say they do, and say that they're able to offer some sort of explanation, good enough explanation. Maybe, like, for someone like you, that would draw them in more. But for everyone else, you'd be like, why the hell are we still talking about power?
No. Because this is what happened. This is what happened. They're in the writer room, and somebody's like, why do they need power for the radios? Don't they already have power? And they were just like, hey, can we fix that writing? Maybe take 2 seconds to fix it. Maybe adjust. And they're like, nah. Oh, how much am I getting paid to write this? Oh, $2 million.
Yeah.
I just don't have the energy to do that kind of writing. Listen, what are you asking of me? Jesus. I'm sorry. It pisses me off when like writers that get paid so much to do this shit.
I know why they did it.
Fucking lazy.
But they could have done a better job on that aspect of the writing. Yeah.
Yes.
Because I do like this story, like the construct in the story. Like they have something, like humans need something. They really, really need this.
Yeah.
And the apes have access to said thing. It creates, it's like the initial driving conflict of the story.
Yeah.
I see why they have it. They could have explained it better. Or they could have offered a more substantial.
It would have been a lot better to give them like something to do with like cleaning the water. They needed the energy because the only thing that they had to clean the water for that amount of people was a filtration system took energy.
Have hand filters, and they could just drink out of that.
Well,
you can't pump it fast enough, and then you're gonna have riots, right? You only have enough hand filters.
But now you're writing.
Look, I just wrote it in 2 seconds. You put energy required water filters. It's the only water filters that they have. They run out of power. They're gonna start fighting over water. That's kind of a bad thing. Like I know that they need the radio in order to communicate to long range military people, but like that was kind of a non-factor to the story. It could have been lazy triggers. Yes, that was like a non-thing in the story. They could have just not had that. Like the military coming in to like help them out really wasn't anything. That was more just set up for the conflict of the next film. And basically, it was to add stakes to the film. It's like if there was more time, maybe the humans in the I almost said elves, apes could have figured something out. Like maybe they could have found a way to like kind of mend the bonds a little bit. But military's come in and they're aware of the ape threat. War is now the only option. That's but they could still have that. Like if you just have the central plot being like the water filters need power, and then like, hey, we called in that other people that are willing to help us in like emergency situations, like apes attacking, because that's also a threat to them. Like otherwise, water filter stuff, they're like, that's kind of your problem. Like we got water for our people, you know?
Yeah, and I'll add that factions fighting over a dam is the plot to Fallout New Vegas, and purifying the water of the wasteland is the plot to Fallout 3. So, Bats, you might have been onto something if they would just smush that together. They're already ripping off one Fallout game. Might as well rip off both. I think it would be cooler if they would have had Mr. House in the movie, because then at least you have an army of robots, an army of monkeys, and an army of people.
I don't think more factions would have fixed anything in this movie.
Listen, let's get into our sci-fi series right now. More factions, more races.
That's
more does not equal. I like.
We're gonna have rock mushroom people, and you're gonna like it.
I like the big set piece at portions of this movie, including the war bit that you also love. Shush. But I like the smaller moments. I like Caesar talking to his son having weird feelings because he's trying to live up to his father's name. I like the light autistic kid. I don't know what his deal is. The human kid, like sharing his comic with maybe he's just normal, but
friends with apes.
It's like they just get along.
No, I enjoyed those parts. I thought Caesar's son was a strong point to the movie. Yeah,
all the ape stuff was just
Let's talk about the war.
And then like the like half like when Koba was like the real story of this, a big portion of the real story here is the conflict of Koba, his fear and hatred versus Caesar and his compassion, more loving stance towards the whole thing. And their kind of conflict over that. Because like Koba would say something and it would kind of be half true. Not quite all the way true, but like his criticisms would be half true.
Like all coups. He pulled all the same terminology that we hear any other radical extremists say throughout history to stage a coup. And it's just like what Caesar says, Koba fights for Koba. I love that scene. I love all the monkey scenes, man. Dude.
Well, like
they could have literally just taken the humans out. It would have been so much better. And just had that
just
like
the drama with the apes.
The iceberg effect of like we don't really know exactly what's going on in the human stuff, but they're getting rowdy. They're like something's going on.
I think that's a problem though, because my real belief is that if the humans were not there was no humans, the whole conflict with Koba would not have happened. Because
no, I'm not saying you don't have humans. I'm saying you don't show the human perspective. You allow that. That's why I said the iceberg effect, right? You show just a little bit of human, the what's interacting they have with the apes, and then like you don't know what's going on in San Francisco, so you kind of like feel that fear and anxiety that's happening with the apes. Especially with how relatable they were, you know.
Yep.
It just would have been so much better.
It's just like Warcraft.
I didn't dislike the human characters, especially like the main posse of humans. I did enjoy them.
Yeah,
I didn't care for any of them except for Gary Oldman.
That's fine.
That one guy's eyes were way too.
Joe, this is a free country. You can be wrong anytime you like. Anytime you like.
Listen, I just want to give a fun fact here.
Joe states opinion.
Have you any last words before you walk the plank, sir? You can't do this, you maniac!
I can do whatever I want. Oh, holy smokes.
No, but fun fact. Contrary to what everything on media shows, especially Attack on Titan, apes can't throw. Throwing is a very specific thing for humans. That baseball throw that we do,
it's our shoulder joint.
Apes,
the way that it functions.
Apes cannot fucking do that shit. If you ever see an ape throw, they toss. So it's just like throwing a spear, that ain't happening.
Well, the grip strength of an ape too is enough to rip your face off.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get to the war. Them shooting guns at the humans was like pretty much like useless. First of all, they're all out in the open. He's like shooting two guns without shouldering them.
There's jumped through fire anything. On a horseback.
How can they not hit him? Why do they drive a tank with the close ranged animals?
He didn't drive.
Why would they not just stay at a distance and just dead? All dead.
To be fair, this isn't a military. This isn't military. These are just like the blow.
No, they are military.
They aren't military.
Gary Oldman was in the military, and so it was like,
oh yeah, like a couple of guys were, but not most of them.
They can train. They have all these weapons.
Like they can do the thing, guys.
And even so, oh god, inherently, we have way more understanding of how to operate a gun than an ape does after picking it up. Like, you ever see those videos in the middle of the Middle East when they're all like shooting the guns, kind of like
the apes,
you know, like yeah, like they never held it.
Bats.
But
he's like, I already saw this movie when I was overseas. Anyway,
you see Americans, like even kids, because they play video games, they see movies and stuff like that. They always know to shoulder the rifle, so that's a huge advantage over other things. So it's just like basically giving the apes guns didn't really help them. They're in a city environment. It would have made much more sense for them to be going through the buildings and closing the gap using their mobility and cover. Them just standing out the open with guns, I'm just like, okay, open target. And the humans
agree.
are behind cover. The
agree.
apes were not behind cover.
They did eventually, but keep in mind these apes have never been at war.
Yeah, that's why they should have died.
That's true.
Yeah. That's why they should have all died. Well, if they were running out in the open, I would understand if the apes were like, ooh, they hit us from wrong range. Let's make sure they don't hit us. And they were going through the buildings. I think they could figure that out.
They actually do it earlier in the movie. I watched it 3 times. They show the apes climbing, how easy it is for them to just penetrate any human defense because they're apes. They'll climb the wall. They'll go through the buildings. And I think this is one part where, like, as much as I resist a lot of Bats' negativity on some other things that are like opinion based, I can't argue with the fact that this actually makes sense. There's a lot of logic here because I personally, at the risk of writing the movie for them, like I do with everything, it would be very cool to see a bunch of monkeys with rudimentary tools just militarized and closing that fucking gap like Bat said. And basically we still see the scenes where they take the
biological
guns.
warfare.
They take the guns, but they don't use them, right? Like maybe a couple of them do, like, I don't know, maybe Koba can just sit back out in the open with his gun and look like a badass, but everybody else would have like rocks closing the gap or something. And you could get this really gritty, like man versus ape thing where it's like, yeah, the guns don't even fucking matter. That's the level that we've gotten to because they're as smart as humans, but they still have an ape body. So it's just like you think it's going to be framed as like technology beats everything, like every First Contact story, but then it flips over to like, no, biology. Like this is our technology.
I do think the apes having guns was important because it gave them a ranged cape. Like, because you get shot out, like most people when they get shot out, duck. Even trained soldiers, which is because you don't want to get shot.
Yeah,
Someone
but they
shoots
wouldn't
at you, even if it's bad.
It's just they were all in a line. Like, to me, I'm like, that's exactly what the humans, how they could have been taken advantage of. They would have assumed the monkeys be dumb and just stand out in the open. And then they see them taking cover and closing the gap and using their mobility. And they're like, oh, fuck, like, I can't hit this, or something. And to me, it just takes me out of my, I had to laugh because he's on horseback with 2 machine guns, unshouldered, just like, and like
they
hitting
did that
like pretty accurately.
That was a great scene.
And just anyone could have just like, pop, 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 pop.
I think part of it is that they thought they didn't anticipate the mobility of the apes. Because the apes were able to climb over the fire, they were able to go past things and, like you say, go into buildings and do all that garbage as well.
Did anybody else have to look up the weight of a chimpanzee and the weight of an orangutan when you saw them riding on horses?
I didn't have to. No, because I've seen a horse.
They're a lot lighter than I thought they were. I thought an orangutan was like many hundreds of pounds, and they're not. They're like the big ones are like 230.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's still big.
Big guy.
And
were they riding that bareback?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
They had hemp rope. They had the whole, but they didn't have a saddle. They're just like monkey balls on horseback.
Yeah, dude.
Was that in the first movie?
What's that?
The horses. I got the horses.
It was in this one.
Caesar rode a horse in the first.
Yeah, but where'd they get the horses? Like, where'd they tame them? Do they have a stable in their little like
village? The American Mustang.
No, the city cops with horses. That's where they got one in the first one, and then presumably they would get whatever resources they could.
So riding horses is a little tricky unless they're just like putzing along. If they get going, that's a skill, especially them stumpy little chimp legs and everything.
Yeah, right.
Just penguining along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the effects were pretty impressive for this film.
I did too. And on the note of like the apes with guns, what I saw was an allegory for this is what happens when you give any primitive people technology or guns. Is like I just
that's just wrong though. It's just wrong.
Well.
We give guns to Afghanistan. We've been giving the guns for years, and they're just not trained.
What happened?
They don't. They don't know how to use them. They got taken over by the Taliban in like 2 seconds.
It's almost like Koba is the Taliban. If you want to just like fill in the gaps here,
How did you like Donald play it? Koba is the Taliban.
I'm just trying to put it in perspective.
No, I know.
You give a bunch of people,
Yeah, then you take an 18-year-old American that has 3 months of training, and then they get wrecked.
Yeah.
Shame.
And they've had the guns for years, but they never have any proper training. It's just.
I've heard stories of American soldiers being terrified to even poke their head out in the mountains of Afghanistan because the enemy is all around you. And that's another thing that they could have really stressed on in this is the sheer fear that the humans would have. Are they out there right now? Are they watching me? Is there one behind me? Is there one in that building right there that I can see? Am I about to get sniped because they have guns now? You know what I mean?
Well, like the initial
They
response,
learn how to
like,
snipe. That'd be insane.
Outside of the outside of the main like guy who was trying to negotiate with Caesar, they were like Gary Oldman was like, yeah, fuck him, let's go up there and kill them all. Like that was his gut reaction, because like they've been living in a state of fear for like a decade plus at this point.
I don't know. To me, when it comes to apes, what's really scary about them is how fucking strong they are.
Yeah.
And if they if they got smart and learned how to make our technology kind of like not as good as it should be against regular humans, because they can again close the gap and stuff like that. They get in arm's reach of you, your face is gone.
Yep.
Like that's right.
Yeah, well, like that one scene where the guy was smoking, and then Koba just like came around the poked his head. By the window.
Dude.
Like,
those little moments are what the movie did the best at. Is like, like moments. The movie had like pure gold 10 out of 10, maybe even 9 out of 10 like moments. But then like overall, it's like, certain scenes. You cut to the humans, for example. You look at like the plot overall. But then like if you took anything out of context, like any of those good scenes, and just people would be like, damn. You know what I mean? I gotta watch that.
They really needed a scene of a guy getting his face ripped off by an ape. That would have sold it for me.
I think they're trying to avoid the
beating it to a baby ape.
Yeah, and it's that type of fear is exactly how you don't get good art. Cowards.
They have Chewbacca strength. What does Chewbacca joke about all the time? Pulling people's arms off.
We have talked about Planet of the Apes for an hour. So we're gonna start with pause. We're gonna start with Evely. You shush. We're gonna start with Evely. Favorite thing about the movie and least favorite. Evely, you start.
And then we'll move on to other things.
Yes.
My favorite thing about the movie, I only had to watch one of them instead of all three, I guess. My least favorite thing, I just wanted the humans to win the entire time. And, it was kind of like a tie, sort of.
Yeah. Kind of. Spoiler, the franchise is called Planet of the Apes.
I know. You see, the ability for you to say, like, you just saw them as characters, I can't, because they're apes. I know. I understand. So my human instinct is like what Bats was saying. If they get the guns and they get smart, like we're done, man. It's us versus them. Kahuna, you're their buddy. You go live with them, man. You're out. You're out of the village, dude.
I'm already halfway there, man. Gotta resume flinging poo, and I'm there, brother.
I'm like, let's take these things down. I know they're pretending to be human and they're working on your emotions so that they can like slowly take over. Yeah. And it's like, no, man. Light that whole forest on fire or whatever, and we'll go in after it.
Yeah, that's what they should have done. They should have just lit the forest on fire.
Yeah.
I mean,
humans.
Koba kind of did that.
I know, but like, if I were
Koba,
in charge,
by the way, means supplanter.
Look, if I'm in charge,
that though, did he?
Interesting.
Mm-mm.
If I'm in charge, a group of highly intelligent new apes approach, and they're like, "Hey, we might kill you." I'd be like, "Okay, all right, bye." Hey, we're lighting the whole fucking forest on fire. Every fucking tree on fire.
Yeah.
They're all like, I'm not even negotiating with these motherfuckers. They come in hands reach, face is gone. Ain't risking that shit. Forest on fire.
Okay,
where do apes? Yeah, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
that's
where do
us.
apes? Where do apes
go
live
ahead.
in the forest? Burn it down. Yeah, there you go. That's it. That's all I was gonna say.
Well, like, it's like again, this is like I've read the books too, so I cheat. But they like I even mentioned it before. Like humans did try to hunt them down for several years, but then things got so bad that humans were more focused on not starving to death.
I didn't even know there was a book. That's interesting.
Was it came out after, didn't it? Right.
What?
The books came after the movies, right?
I don't know for sure. I don't know.
Probably one of those books where they go and they watch the movie and they're like, all right, we got to fix some stuff. So let's put some extra detail in the books to try to make it make sense.
They had books about the in-between
Star Wars
stuff.
movies.
No, they have one about Blue Eyes after this movie, between 2 and 3,
Yeah.
where he goes like on a freaking walkabout spirit journey. It's kind of good, but
They can if they leave the door open and let the monkeys in, Herman. Jesus. So stupid. Like, oh yeah, tank's here. Let's drive it right up close to the face ripping off monkeys. Like,
okay, Joe, just to continue. Joe, favorite thing about the film and least favorite thing.
All right, favorite thing about the movie was the relationship between Koba and Caesar's son. I thought that was fantastic.
I thought so.
The whole dynamic. I wanted more of it, But the worst part about the movie was the humans' actions. Just lazy story writing, and I don't like lazy.
Would you call it lazy or maybe just naive?
No, it's lazy.
Okay.
Naive is an excuse. They're not actually naive.
That's fair.
Willingly ignorant.
AC, favorite and least favorite thing about the film?
Bless you.
My favorite thing was how much it made me think about history, human interaction with each other, first contact stories. I wrote a first contact story. That's my novel I'm waiting to release. Like all of that stuff. Like that's why I have so many thoughts. Like I couldn't help it just like think of all the times historically when like a more primitive faction got their hands on some things that they didn't. Like we see, it's a very modern problem too. Not always. It's also timeless. So I don't know. The whole thing is very good commentary on what it was commentating on. If a little bit on the nose, right? There's a literal monkey coup that we see unfold.
It's the ultimate betrayal, and it played on the moral weakness of the main character.
Yes. Yeah. Because Caesar he cares about the apes, so he's badass enough to do what needs to be done, but a good guy enough to like not just go declaring war or whatever. You know what I mean? And just killing people.
Partially was his being the fact that he wasn't even raised as an ape. Partially it was the fact that he was wise enough to know what war would bring to his people as well.
Yeah. So I liked the monkey scenes and like how much it made me think about all that. I didn't like some of the human stuff. Like it's kind of like what Bats was saying. Like there's something that just felt off about the humans. Like they didn't grab me. I didn't like root for them, and I can tend to get behind something in like post-apocalyptic things. I just watched Mad Max, for example, the new one, and even there's a few characters you can just be like, it's kind of cool, and I'll remember them is the thing. I'll just remember Gary Oldman because Gary Oldman, and he was really stressed out.
I get him mixed up with Michael Caine because they were both in Batman.
Oh,
I can't remember which name belongs to which human.
Oh no, I've been there, man. I've been there.
Yeah, Michael Oldman, Gary Caine, whatever they are.
Oldman's a really good actor. I like him a lot.
Agreed.
But all right, so there are flaws with this movie, but to me, the story of the main character Caesar has always been a very compelling character for me. You get to see his journey, like from birth to death, in the course of 3 films. The acting by Andy Serkis, the way the apes interact, the family dynamics, the relationships between different apes, and then the pressures put on both sides by their own people and by their circumstances, bringing this to a very unfortunate conclusion to what could have been a very peaceful story otherwise. I liked the way the conflict. I agree with Bats. Like the humans didn't always do things that made perfect sense, but I guess it never bothered me enough for it to truly detract from my experience with the film. I really like this film.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I think it's really good, actually. Just it's not like Godfather, but
why are we talking about my nudity?
Why aren't we talking about your nudity on the show?
My take is this is the Iron Seas, and only the best float. This is the rough seas, and it takes some real story writing to float through the Iron Seas, and that's why I say this sinks.
All right, hey, sinks or floats? I say floats.
Float.
It doesn't even touch the water, Bat Sauce, and you're wrong. But
Evelyn,
AC,
you can make this to a time. We'll have to put it to the crowd.
No, you're going to hate my answer, but that's okay. We're going to use it anyways. Whenever you're a child and you go fishing, just in the pond, you cast out, you're fishing, that little thing on the end of your line, the bobber, the red and white one. It's one of those. It's just.
It is floating.
Oh, I said it was the Titanic door.
I don't want to say that was so good. I'm going with the bobber.
Yeah, like it pops under sometimes and then pops back up.
Exactly.
So essentially, if it was like a rough sea, that would sink.
Yeah, it'd mostly be underwater. It would occasionally pop back up. I understand on Metacritic it's a 79, IMDb it's a 7.6. It made 710 million. I understand why people
Diamond Sink
enjoyed it. I thought it wasn't like a terrible movie. I didn't really like it that much. So
why is rock sink?
Why, do you know why a rock sinks?
Bobble and bobber.
It looks down.
It looks
That's
down.
why.
Yeah.
It looks down into the darkness.
AC for you, floats or sinks? Floats or sinks?
Yeah, I think we've heard everybody says it floats. You're all wrong.
We are the champions, my friend.
I've been assimilated into the culture of the coup that happened in real
the
life.
patriarch.
Take your wins, your cheap wins, just like winning off of Mad Max with the terrible.
Now I'll take this win, Joe, graciously as always. Suck it! I win.
It's okay.
After
Earth
too much skin.
will have its redemption.
You can redeem yourself next time when you vote good on Planet of the Apes. Anyway,
Marky Mark, Planet of the Apes is up next. Get ready.
No. Like truth be told, like
why the apes? Where'd they come from? Why are they so smart? What's happening?
Why are you so good at Marky Mark, bro?
I don't know. Shut up. I'm my business. He's crazy.
Crazy. Did Marky Mark just come in and ruin like every franchise?
Oh, shush, Maji. How dare you?
If it was Marky Mark for walking, I'd be all over that.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. So what was our next subject we wanted to go over?
I guess we could talk about Mad Max.
Boy.
I guess
drifting into that because we got two guys who've seen the movie, the new one.
Speaking of sinking or floating, yes. Me and Eva can lay it on you guys, and then.
Well, it's also it's pretty like I guess culturally relevant, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the biggest flop of like any Memorial Day weekend for like the past 30 years.
I feel like even the flops have been disappointing recently because they don't flop enough to be memorable. They're just like it just didn't do well. It's not like the Marvels that actively lost money.
And also, this movie's getting praised, though. I know the two people on the show that have seen it didn't like it, but the show's getting praised. So it's weird that a movie on Memorial Day with basically no competition that's getting good praise failed.
I actually say it floats, but I agree with the failure. Does that make sense? I agree that it should justifiably fail.
It's a Mad Max film without Max.
But
so this is the thing. We had a discussion about like we're not normies when it comes to this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. But the normie crowd didn't see this, so that's what's confusing me because I feel like
there was nobody in the theater. It was me and my wife, and there was like two people that walked in the back. That was it. There was nobody there. Empty.
And that's why I think like most people are wrong because either people are saying, "Hey, like it's these like people are tired of these like woke messages or whatever," and if there's a hint of it, we're not seeing it. I just don't think that's the normie crowd cares about that yet. Still, so things will still make money because of that. The other people are saying, I forgot what they're saying. There's a counter point to this.
As far as what the steel man or the straw man?
One of them. I don't remember.
The straw man is that like, oh, they even get a hint of woke and they're out the door. When in reality, I actually identified a lot of like feminist stuff in the movie, but it's not like super fair to criticize it because the way they delivered it is built into the movie. But I still noticed it, and I could literally from one creator to another, I could literally see all the symbolism on the screen, and I was breaking it down in the moment. And I could like, it was just obvious they cared about symbolism and kind of like unspoken, unwritten storytelling. So then to my first point, you have all this stuff in there, all this propaganda in there, basically, and when you combo that with the fact that I know that they care about like symbolism and stuff, it makes the first part about embedding all that stuff a little bit more egregious. But since it's like
talk about propaganda in the Furiosa film.
Yeah. But since
So I
it's
mean,
like
this is also not
ingrained
the
in
first Furiosa movie.
Right.
So I'll get into that in a second. But like my point
Didn't
is going
get
to be
cold. It just gets weird trying to hide them on screen.
what I think is the cause of this is that the movie going culture is dead due to multiple reasons.
Yeah.
Recession being in one, COVID followed by the protest, and just having this long gap.
A lot of
movies
theaters
to go
have
to the
died.
theaters. Yeah. And it's just people are not accustomed to going to the theater. I think it's just when we had a culture of going to the theaters, people just it kind of was like an instinctual thing to go.
It's like, what do you want to do? Oh, we can see a movie.
Let's just go see
it's
a
like
movie.
It's not. It's people don't really do that unless they're going on a first date anymore.
Do you remember this? What's playing? Who cares? Let's just go see a movie.
Yeah,
Holy
I remember
shit.
that.
It's not a thing anymore.
Now, theater, like a good movie will still bring people in.
Yeah.
They like a few movies in recent years have, but it's a less even distribution of tickets being sold. It's like a few movies will get all of the tickets sold, and the others will have virtually zero.
Yeah, I reference. I mean, this is one of the worst openings, or the worst opening in Memorial Day and however long. But just a few years ago, Top Gun Maverick, was like what $190 million on Memorial Day weekend or something.
That was like the first big movie to come out in like because of the COVID break. You had that, and then also it was like an event, right? So it's like people are only going to things that are like I have to see it in the theater. Maverick and Dune. Because like Maverick was like I didn't see it in the theaters, but after watching it, I'm like, damn, that would have been really cool to see in the theaters. I don't think we're getting that with most of these movies.
We're not. It's like I watched Avengers Endgame, and then for years, every movie I saw in theaters was a disappointment until Maverick.
Yeah.
First movie in like 4 or 5 years,
one.
I was like, this was actually worth my time to go to a theater. I'm so happy I saw this.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing too is it's just like I think the way that you fix this is just like they need to start making $30 to $40 million movies.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason that they Hollywood wouldn't be the prestigious thing it is to today or whatever. But like, if they made $30-40 million movies, they can make great movies, and
they could make $30-40 million off of it then. And if they
they need to make $80 million, but that's totally probably
with the high budget. We were talking about this, that with Top Gun, they respected the source material, and you were saying if this Mad Max just had Mad Max in it, butts would have been in seats. People would have showed up for that because it would have felt like more of an event. It's like was it Nerdrotic that was saying with Spider-Man that put Tobey Maguire in the movie? Either him or Critical Drinker. Hey, Tobey Maguire, we like that guy. He's there, and now we're here too. It's just like give the people.
I don't know if that's it, because like yes, Tobey Maguire put some butts in the seats, but was it enough? Because like people still wanted to see Spider-Man, and people liked even though I don't really care for him. People like the whatever the fuck his name is, the current Spider-Man, Tom Holland. Yeah. I mean, there was some good faith that the Spider-Man movies were going to be good. Like the previous two were good, decent.
Point. Godzilla -1. That
was
beautiful
amazing.
Movie was 15 million. How did they make that movie?
It was less than that
because they care.
One thing is that they planned it out. Probably that's a big money saver. Is planning the movie out.
Another thing
is a huge money saver.
Cultural. It's a culture bomb. That is a love child of Japan themselves.
Yeah.
About their culture. I don't know if you guys know this. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, but every single Godzilla movie made by the West is a disgrace, and it's vandalism, just like we see with our own favorite IPs, just like we see with Mad Max without Max, all this other stuff, Halo. That's what we're doing to the East whenever we make a Godzilla movie. It's their culture.
Did you guys ever see Japan's response to the 1999 Godzilla movie?
No, but I remember.
No, but I like Godzilla 2000. We were young.
I love that movie, but Japan's response. Japan made another Godzilla movie like a year later, where Japanese Godzilla kills American Godzilla.
Yes, rightfully so. Rightfully
Dude,
so.
I was a
Holy
huge Godzilla
crap.
fan back in the day. I
Well,
used to watch all the old
adored
movies
that
all the
movie,
time.
dude, yeah.
Think about it. Imagine we make a franchise that like has this kind of like
on
insane
Memorial
monster-
Day.
insane
Sorry, that's
monstrous
wild.
like an insane monstrous kaiju sized Lucifer or Satan, and then all of a sudden Japan makes their own version, names it the same thing, it's the same IP or whatever, but then they romanticize the shit out of it.
And they make it a anime girl.
Yeah, basically they just romanticize the shit out of it. That's like what we
Yeah.
did. It's like, this isn't a monster, it's a dinosaur that has
I will say a little off topic. Oh,
Okay.
you go.
I was just gonna say, whenever you go to see a Godzilla movie, what is it that you want out of a Godzilla movie that you're not going to get out of any other movie? Godzilla, right?
Yeah.
Doing cool stuff. It's Godzilla. Sure, there can be humans and touchy-feely and drama. You're there for Godzilla at the end of it. You
Yeah.
want a story to get you to that point, so you're entertained, but you're there for Godzilla. With
It was
Mad
so
Max,
weird. It had
I
the
am there
best
for
human story.
cool Frankenstein cars doing twisted metal in the desert. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Like, if the rest, I don't even care about the rest of the movie, really. Like, if you
Mhm.
want to have a story, that's fine. I don't really care about the drama. I want that. And they didn't give me that one thing. And I feel like if you give people that one thing that they're showing up for, Top Gun, what do you want? You want jets blowing up stuff. The first 2 hours of that movie, take it or leave it. I don't really care. Oh, he's got a girlfriend. That's nice. You got a daughter. How cute. I don't care. At the last half hour, jets are
Drama, the
blowing up
human
stuff.
element, interaction.
I can watch.
I don't
any
need
of
it.
that. I want the jets. I'm there for the jets. I can watch
And-
Harry Met Sally or like You Got Mail
Yeah.
for human interaction and
Yep.
romance and all that.
For
I'm
sure.
Planet of the Apes.
Jets
And
doing
you are
jets.
right. You are
And
right. They
delivered that in
advertise.
the last half hour, and that's what I want, man. If I'm here for steak, don't give me a delicious salad that's the most amazing
Yes.
salad, and then a piece of steak on the top. Just give me a steak, man. I just want the
Mhm.
steak.
You beat me to it.
Yeah, and they advertise this not as a cool car explosion movie, and there was a little bit about in that trailer, but it was advertised as a Furiosa origin story. How did she lose her arm? How did she get the black paint on her? How did she go bald?
Why do they keep making these movies about asking questions nobody cares about?
Right.
It's like the Solo movie. Also,
No.
Evely, I gotta say this. I criticize your movie opinions occasionally, every now and again.
Here and there,
Not every time it comes up, just, once in a blue moon. Anyway,
right?
but I do admire the way that you enjoy movies. I don't admire your opinions about said movies, but I do admire your method of enjoying movies. It's like,
I
bro,
love
like an
like Top Gun
oxymoron.
Maverick, like
Yeah.
kind of sucked. Half hour, jets blew up. I was happy. I'm like,
yeah.
I can't even describe how much I disagree with you on the first part, but I'm all there for the second part.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
yeah.
And that was the
Hell
other
yeah.
problem with Furiosa is that Fury Road did all the action, the cool cars, way better. If you're gonna make a sequel,
Nipple clamps and
whatever, 10 years
fire
later,
breathing
shut up,
guitars.
Danny,
I'm
man.
there.
I want 2 cars that are Cadillacs smashed together. And don't get me wrong, Dementis, his little 6-wheel monster truck, pretty boss.
Pretty cool.
But
And
everything
the
else
chariot
is
of
like,
motorcycles.
I'm
The
torn on
chariot
that.
of motorcycles. Dog.
It was in Furio too.
Kind of really silly. Like he should have been in a camper or something. So he's but everything
Well,
else
I
is
was-
motorcycles. I'm like,
I was
where
saying
are
with
the
you
cars?
guys, and we talk about Top Gun. I 100% think this would have been ball knocked out of the park if they just brought back Mel Gibson as Mad Max.
Yeah.
And it would have been
Same
this
movie.
whole thing. It's like he's coming back for the role, baby. And you
Also,
have
that's the
all
thing.
the
A Mel Gibson movie is never just like him acting in a movie. He always takes some like control in that part of the movie.
There's one
Yeah,
scene where
you
they
had
show
all the
Max.
boomers come back too.
There's one scene where they show Max, I believe.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah, it's like something
Oh,
else is
yeah,
happening.
that's
It's like
what we
something
get.
else
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is happening. The plot.
Don't
the plot,
look
the
at the
plot.
timeline of Mad Max. It's all bullshit. But
And then it pans over and it's just classic. It's Max's car with what's clearly Max facing the other way, looking at like the shit going on off in the distance.
Oh, cool.
Doesn't that even count? That
It
shouldn't-
doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
starring Furiosa and Max's ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not Mel Gibson. But essentially, so what I was gonna get at is I actually, like I said, give it a thumbs up, counter to Evely. I agree with the failure for all the reasons that you may or may not have heard. But what I have to say is like it knocked it out of the park with the world building. Like holy crap. That was actually very good. And like as I'm sitting here noticing a lot of the talking points, the like political talking points kind of just like ingrained in the passive storytelling, I couldn't help but like notice all the other passive storytelling. like I said, this was people who care about symbolism, and with that comes like other things like world building and stuff. So I kind of view this as like a Mad Max world building movie with like Furiosa as the sock puppet, essentially.
Yeah.
Because they show you all the places. Like, here's the bullet farm. Here's Gastown. Here's all the other, here's all the places.
It's better as an iceberg.
It is. That's the thing. They're showing you. Yeah. You're
Also,
right.
Maji Chan and Seabats bring up good points. I think it's a two-pronged problem. You have creatives in Hollywood who are not actually creative or very good at what they do. Second, all of their bad ideas, nobody's saying no to their bad ideas. And like Seabats brings up a good point. Like George Lucas lacked that in the prequels. I agree. Yeah. George Lucas is a very good storyteller, but he does need someone to rein him in a little bit. And when he doesn't have that, the worser parts of the prequels is the result. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I love the prequels, even the second one. I love them, and even Jar Jar Binks. Like, people hate Jar Jar Binks. I've never had a problem with Jar Jar Binks.
He was supposed to be a Sith. I 100% believe that.
Same.
I do. I'm so glad uncle, you guys agree.
My uncle said it before it became popular on Reddit.
Sick.
He would always say that. He's like, dude, George, like nobody saw like Yoda. They all thought he was gonna be this like awesome dude, and he's just this like small little puppet guy.
Son of a bitch.
Well, yeah, not to get off too much. So slight topic change. Still the same time.
Jar Jar Binks is a Sith Lord. No.
Yep.
Mad Max Fury Road. So I didn't realize until it was brought up with this new Mad Max movie coming out that I didn't realize it was so like feminist driven in Fury Road. Because that was like before.
Until our propaganda, you didn't realize.
She literally uses him as.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it since like we started pushing it. Like the message wasn't so strong back then. Back then, I'm just like, oh, dude, cars blowing up, guns, like chicks missing an arm. It's just badass. But
it was a little more subtle back then. They really upped the timeline for how much propaganda they started.
And like I saw the Mad Max movies like maybe once, and like they weren't really strong in my memory. So like like a lot of people, I didn't have a strong connection to Max going into the movie. So I didn't see it from this angle of like, bro, they just sidelined Max. And now it's like, oh yeah, they fucking sidelined Max. What the fuck?
Big time. They muzzle him.
Yeah, they literally
they drain him of blood and put him on the front of a car like a cow getting hit by a train.
And like they did with the movie. That's what the movie is. It's Max, it's a Mad Max car with a hood ornament on it, and the hood ornament is Max, and the rest is just some other car that they've.
But yeah, it's like back when they were boiling the frog correctly, like that got past a lot of people, like me, right? And it's like, they really lost it later. They if they just continue to boil the frog. I didn't
miss it at the time, but I that was like the beginning of my like awareness of the kind of game they were playing. I'm like, wait a second, hold on. I felt like Alex Jones. I'm like, we're putting chemicals in our water.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but like when I started catch on to the message, I'm like, yo, this has been going on for a little bit.
Evely, this is how you watch movies. We're like, dude, cars in the desert with motorcycles and
steak, man. I'm just here for steak.
Like they gave you steak. Maybe there's like a pamphlet about it. You're like voting for a woman and right with the steak, but it's still a steak.
Like that.
At least you'd still have steak. You could just like ignore the pamphlet.
Now,
or whatever,
don't get me wrong. If you want to give me a delicious salad and then like a delicious piece of bread, and then like a delicious beverage, and then a really good steak, that's even better. But if you're handing all this crap, I'm like, all right, I can just push that off.
You're just making me hungry now.
And as long as I get my steak, I'll be like, yeah, the movie kind of sucked, but the cars were awesome. Like it's worth watching. Just like skip all the whenever people are talking, just fast forward. And then whenever there's cars, it's
guitar, flamethrower.
You know a movie that does that for me, just tickles my like this is cool like kind of bone. Pacific Rim. I love that movie because it's just
cool.
It's just cool mecha, like believable.
It's so dark.
So
it doesn't have that movie doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to make sense.
When he whipped out the sword, I literally had a moment in the theater. I'm like, When the fuck did they have swords? Because like I kept on justifying things in my head too. I was like, oh, the buzzsaws. I'm like, okay, so like maybe it's because things can't cut into their skin because it's super durable. So maybe only blunt force works. And like, okay, now this guy has like spinning blades. Okay, so maybe it has to be that specific like type of blade that like spins really fast. And then he just whips out a normal fucking sword and slices it in half, and it's the best fucking weapon ever. And I'm
so, not to be that guy, but there is a nerd reason why. Like they have the sword. It works.
Please explain. Please explain how they in the post books that they like. Well, actually,
That's dude,
is gonna go normal sword. So what's the reason he used it for the original?
No,
and then the gun.
You got to go into every detail about how good they are.
The gun. He's like.
So yeah, guys, Pacific Rim, pretty good, right? Great popcorn film.
I will
not be silenced.
Time is hard to see.
No, and then the gun. He's like close up with the gun, trying to charge it up, holding it there, and then he blasts him like, oh, so it must only have like a range of like 5 feet, and then it's like super deadly. And then like later in the movie, he's like, oh, let's check to make sure it's dead. Beep, 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 beep. I'm like, why? Use the gun.
Yeah.
Use the fucking gun.
I'm just in it for Charlie Day.
Dude, I fucking love Charlie Day.
Charlie Day's in that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the he's one of the scientists for some reason.
He's the guy who like hardwires his brains in.
He's one reason why I actually
it's like we're gonna double team this alien brain, bro.
He's one reason why I like the movie, but also one reason why I was taken out of it because I just It's Always Sunny. It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, it was just him, but like pretending to be smart.
Yeah.
Ron Perlman was such a great little cameo in that film.
That's
like such a great little side character, Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
Came in here just being the weirdest like kaiju underworld, like mafia kind of guy.
That's my Ron Perlman impression.
Yeah.
I stand with Kahuna, but not too close.
I was like,
say, Evely, you were gonna say something a moment ago, I think.
Oh, I was just asking if the sequel is any good. I said we just got the sequel.
It's garbage.
The sequel
Don't
apparently
watch
is garbage. Yeah.
Oh man.
But it just goes to show, like, look, we love giant robots.
Yeah.
And we were so close to having perfect giant robot kaiju fighting.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, just where's the live action Gundam movie, dude?
Just watch Gundam. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like Joe, I like with my gun, like with my mecha, they can be realistic and I'll enjoy them, but I don't care about that. Like my favorite mecha thing of all time is where they scream to make their mechs get bigger and it works. That's the law of that universe.
Yeah, but
gun.
That's fine though. It's it's just come on.
So awesome.
You have this sword. You show it at the end. Like it's just like, oh, a MacGuffin.
You can't get over the sword.
It's stupid.
It is stupid, but it's a stupid movie. It's stupid fun. Let it be fun.
It can be fun and not as stupid.
Fuck.
So anyway, Furiosa.
Like they can't have kaijus like have swords too.
Shush.
Yeah.
AC, what were you saying?
I was just Furiosa, good movie. Yep, didn't deserve the failure. No. Great world building, but yeah, I agree with like Evely on most of it. The Chris Hemsworth took me out of it big time. I was like, wait, why is Thor here? Oh, he's just being Thor the whole time. Okay, this is just
he's
Australian
just being Thor. Yeah,
and they even gave him a red cape. Like Thor has a red cape. What are you guys doing? And they even have like a whole scene where he's like walking like Thor. Yes, that's the thing. He has like the body language, and he's like holding a bunch of weapons because he's gonna like make all of his people like fight over something.
He was just
like the way he's walking.
He was just more himself. That's all. Drunk and Australian.
Do you think they filmed this before the release of God and Thunder or whatever?
No way. That released years and years ago.
He was 70% himself and 30% like Kmart brand Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I was still dating large women when that movie came out. It's been a while, man. Moving on from that. So, wait, that brings up something I saw on like Twitter and all that BS a while. Like in regards to this, everyone's like there's a couple responses. Like some people are like, oh yeah, it's about Furiosa. And it's like that's why I failed. I'm like, that's not that's part of it, but that's not all of it. But then there are the girls, like even women I respect, who are like, Why are everyone's saying that like women protagonists are bad and like that's why the movie failed? I'm like, no. You're you're like
Alien. Wizard of Oz.
We don't like badly written characters, and there have been so many badly written main female protagonists in movies in the last like 5 to 7 years at this point. It's become such a commonplace thing. Like, think of a video game where there's not an arrow shooting main side shave main character in recent years. It's very hard to come up with a title like that doesn't have that.
Right.
I mean,
I do want to say on the subject of female protagonists, there was this whole introductory scene in Furiosa where they actually very strongly showcase how important females are in this world. And they even show a baby being born and it has 4 legs. It's like mutated because there's so much like radiation and shit. Like everybody's just so fucked up in this post-apocalyptic world. Then the scene comes where Furiosa's like wig gets knocked off and she's bald. And or rather later on in the movie where her like hat is knocked off and it's like her long hair goes flowing and it's revealed that she's a female and she never has to hide it for the rest of the movie. So she spent the entire time hiding it only to start walking around in front of the same people who she was hiding from the whole time. It's almost like
because she's bald, they don't recognize
No, she's not bald. She looks like a fucking female. And like the same reason that everybody was all opining for her before. In fact, she's a more mature female with long, like curly, like wavy hair and shit.
She really grew in her maturity, like really grew. Yeah,
and like she even goes and like talks to the warlords multiple times again after that, and they don't even mention anything. They're just like, "Oh yeah, that's cool that you just escaped," and I was like, I traded you for this like really huge political thing that was like set up between 2 warlording nations, and let's just forget about all of that. It just like made kind of all of that really good setup pointless, and it doesn't need to be if they would have just wrote the main character a little differently. Like, it's not the fact that she's female, it's the fact that like choices like that don't make sense. Why are you going to establish all this stuff only to throw it away right after the fact? And it's just to have your female character that you're like that you want to prop up or whatever.
And we won't spoil it. Talking about
it's Furiosa, you can spoil it. Definitely. Go ahead. I don't care.
So, all right.
Spoilers for Furiosa, the movie no one was going to go see.
Even though the ending, you kind of know where it starts off. But yeah, she gets her revenge, essentially. And there's this big, long speech where he's like, "Oi, mate, it's not even going to be revenge. Why boomerang?" And so then they come.
It won't feel good.
About he's like, "Oh, you'll be dead, but who cares?" And then they're like, "Did she slowly torture him to death, or did she just shoot him? I don't know." And then the whole time she's trying to get back to the place that she was torn from as a child. And instead of being like, "Oh, he's dead now, I'll go to that place," she's like, "No, I got to go back to Gastown and rescue these people." I'm like, "Hold on." And that's where I was like, okay, maybe she's trying to prove him wrong because she's going to save these mothers and she's going to show that she's not just killing him wasn't for nothing. Now she can go do this other thing. That's where I was. And my wife was, was like, "No, like this is your chance. Like, go to the green place, go home. Like, what you doing?" It's like this decision. And then she just turns on it. I'm like, I kind of see that too.
And then goes back. The whole thing. She has the map on her arm the whole time. Like, the whole thing is
like what she has the map written on her arm, like the phone number of a goth girl you met at the beach, and you wrote here on your arm in charcoal so you wouldn't forget it. That's what she did to remember where.
What kind of Hawaiian ass bullshit did you just say? The fuck?
That's awesome.
We just we put the names on the charcoal, man. What the fuck? Who does that shit?
I didn't have a phone on me. It's like, oh, she's cute. She's goth on the beach. I'm not going to ignore a goth girl, bat sauce.
You know us Hawaiians, we always carry charcoal on us.
When you're burning things on the beach, it wasn't in Hawaii either.
Oh, that's a fair point.
Did you just assume my geography?
I totally did when we first met. I was like, "How's Hawaii?" And he's like,
everybody's like,
that's true. It must have been a fake goth girl, Herman. That's true. She didn't carve it into my arm. Yeah,
they're not at the beach either. they get
in
some-
Hawaii.
each number.
Actually,
It
no,
says, like,
that is a
hey,
weird thing. There is a goth like movement in Hawaii. Like it's like partially like black gangster dress style, and then it's like half that and half goth on Hawaiians.
It has
in
to just
Hawaii.
be rich
Too
kids.
much sunshine and perfect weather and abundant fruit.
Yeah,
Anyway, I'm
it
gonna
has
wear
to-
long sleeve. I'm gonna like this girl, dark,
life
like
sucks.
very, very, very dark, like not Hawaiian skin, long sleeve, like thumb through the hoodie, sweat, like long sleeve, the black beanie hat, dark makeup, like this much of her face is showing. She has gloves. Like, I'm like, what are you doing? It's like 82 degrees. What do you?
Different places are in different generations of fashion. I think when I was like living in Japan, it was like they were starting to dress like they were still in the 80s, but transitioning into the 90s.
Sick.
And that was like 2010.
Nice.
That sounds better. That sounds better.
Yeah.
It's like early 90s. Was
It would make
cool.
more sense if they had the goths in Japan because everything's like sad there and stuff, right?
I'll get
The
there.
expectations are so high.
A friend of mine told me of this.
Paradise.
A friend of mine told me about a place called America Town. I think it's in Osaka or something.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sounds incredible.
No, well, there's probably American towns all over the place, but he's probably in Okinawa.
That sounds incredible.
Oh wait, wrong word. What the hell? What is happening in our chat?
Laugh.
I just want to say our chat is primarily female.
Kahuna pounded way too much poi.
Anyway.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
I don't know
love
what
it, man.
poi is though.
I know, but it sounds very, very devious. And
But what's
Yeah.
poi?
what's that?
We gotta Google what poi is. I don't know what poi is.
I have a poi pounder, not here. I have it in my room.
But what is poi?
It's a type of Hawaiian food, and you pound it and you grind it, and then you turn it into a paste, and you're able to put that into different foods.
Oh, this looks gross. This looks like that pink stuff they made chicken nuggets out of.
It's it's not good, but it's not bad. It's kind of flavorless, truth be told. Like it's a very light flavor. There's not a lot going on.
This
there.
lady's really enjoying it in this photo.
Oh, yeah. She likes her poi pounder.
Yeah,
She got hers. She got hers wireless. Anyway.
So I was gonna say nihilism versus cynicism versus like what was the other one? Hopefulness. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Having a hopeful story versus a nihilistic. So a bad Batman movie versus a good Superman movie.
Or like Wall-E. Wall-E would be like hopeful, and like Fallout is kind of more cynical versus nihilistic.
Yeah, it's because Evely just doesn't like anything that's slightly negative.
That's right.
He doesn't. He doesn't like
He owns it.
Tombstone because Wyatt Earp is not the best husband.
Yeah, he's right about that redhead. Don't get me started.
Don't get him started, Kahuna.
First of all, she was a whore, so whatever that's worth.
His wife?
Historically, yeah,
Oh.
they weren't. Also,
And then
they were never.
why
They
marry a
weren't.
whore?
No, the woman he came in with in the beginning of the movie. Historically, they were never married.
What? In the movie, they were.
No, they're not. It implies that they are, and they act like they are, but they're not.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's true. Also, the woman that was with Doc Holliday, she was also a prostitute called Big Nose Kate.
She's in the opium
Apparently, she
den.
was a really ugly woman historically.
Big
Like,
nose.
just had this giant schnauzer going on her face, but
lit.
yeah, unrelated.
I want a nickname like that, dude.
Big
So,
Nose
yeah,
Kate.
To
Yeah.
go on that tangent, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the downer movies. Life is hard enough. I want my entertainment to
That's
be
fair.
enjoyable and uplifting and fun and light.
Again, I admire
like
the
to-
way you like. I admire the way you enjoy movies. I just can't do it.
I like to feel emotion, any emotion.
Any emotion?
Yeah. Well, if a story goes out with the intent to make you feel a certain emotion, and as long as it's not like disgust or something like that,
Oh.
then
Emptiness.
yeah, like it's mission success. Success.
I was gonna say you'd love Furiosa then if you're just looking for any emotion. You'd love it.
I don't know. I didn't really have any emotion.
Anything besides disgust, I think.
other than disappointment. Is that an
Who
emotion?
said that? Who said that?
kind of
Pat
is.
Seabats? Who said
Kind
that?
of is.
The woman he came in the beginning. Wait a second. That's pretty sus. Who said that? I'm sure someone said it if she's saying it. That's a good
Yeah.
So like someone like he saw the woman was just I'm sorry. I love it. I don't know why it's funny to me, but it that's funny. Like I come back, it says we lost viewers. I would love if that's true, but it keeps on like fluctuating anyway. So
yeah, no, I mean, so like, oh, sorry. Well, like bad emotions, right? Like something makes you sad. That's usually a negative emotion, but like
it offers
you want to feel sad.
If they want, yeah. I mean, if that's like the goal of projection, I don't know. It can make you like look back on like memories. I don't know.
I like media that can make me feel things.
Yeah.
I like, but yeah, I like a good story will make me cry happy or cry sad. I'm happy. Yeah. It'll get me either way.
Everly, I'm gonna list some movies, Everly, and then you just say yes or no. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
We're gonna judge you with. We're gonna judge you with. We're gonna judge you with the clips. Okay. So I'm ready. I'm ready.
Beethoven. Beethoven's the first movie.
So you guys list movies, good ones that are countdowns.
Why is the hand going up and down? Anyway.
No, he might have muted himself because of his dog.
Yeah, my dog.
Oh. Yeah. Am I a stranger?
Yeah.
No. You're fine. You're fine.
Schindler's List.
I did this heavily. You're center stage, big boy. It's your day.
I think you need to restart your computer.
Haven't seen it.
I've not seen it.
I think Alt F4 is the way. I think that'll fix it.
Saving Private Ryan.
It's a good movie, but war movies just mostly make me upset that the war happened.
Yeah.
Hacksaw Ridge.
I haven't seen it.
Bro!
It's a good movie. Yo, we were talking about Mel Gibson before, man. That movie's
one of my favorite movies. I love that movie.
Mel Gibson?
Yeah, he directed it, man. Yeah, and then it has Andrew Garfield as as Dawes.
Passion of the Christ.
I haven't seen it.
Incredible.
It's kind of a downer.
Yeah, man.
Probably kind of a downer.
What?
Passion of the Christ, man. What? Kind of a downer.
They speak like in the right language with a bunch of guys with British accents.
You know, man, like I kind of thought he's gonna get away with it at the end. It just, I don't know, man.
That's fair.
Did you believe he died at the end?
What did you just say?
Kind of a downer. No, you see what I'm getting at though? There's catharsis.
Christ dying for our sins. Kind of a downer.
But, okay, I understand your point, but at the same time, if it's like, okay, like a fun, happy, feel good movie, not fun, bad, not happy movie. Like I know I'm picking every single time.
Yeah. Land Before Time.
That's sad. That's a sad movie.
All dogs go to heaven. All dogs
it's a very sad movie.
Where in the beginning, his parents die.
Really? And
after they
in the beginning, his dad like got her pregnant and dipped so he's never there. Mom gets eaten by a T-Rex and crushed by rocks. Yeah.
See, that's like
Dad was never there. Dad was never there. Are we about to get deep into the Land Before Time?
Next week on Iron Seas, Land Before Time.
Land Before Time. Here's what they're not telling you. Or 10 things you didn't know about the Land Before Time.
Actually, we should mention at some point what we're doing next week on the show. Because we got
Western Week.
Yeah, we're going to do Westerns. I think, at least currently, we got a guest lined up. A fellow who has written a certain Western book.
Yes. And the hell's coming with me.
Yeah. Pretty good so far. I think I'm on chapter 6. I'm enjoying it so far.
Kendall says I'm
on a white
50%.
And hell followed with him.
Kendall says I'm 50% through. Yeah, so far, so good.
Yeah. I have a physical copy coming in here soon. Hopefully I get it in time to be able to read it. Oh,
I need to fill up. I need to fill up an entire bookshelf of just like Iron Age stuff. That's a goal.
I have an area at home, and then I have this thing behind me that's just dunking with them.
It is yet to turn me off like some books. Yeah.
I don't like the way you said that.
So post-apocalyptic storytelling before we move on to next week's thing. Yay or nay? I'm gonna assume overall Evely is probably a nay.
I'm a nay on what? Sorry. Back for a quick second.
So he's saying that you're probably a negative on in general when it comes to post-apocalyptic movies
because they're generally
yeah.
pretty dour.
They're usually the worst parts of humanity. It's never like people working together.
It's like it's not usually Mad Max. It's usually The Road.
Yes,
true.
It's the human will to live and to thrive.
True, and it's where we come from, kind of. That is what society is without society.
Kinda. Even like, I don't want to go back. Don't make me go back.
Right.
Also, I'm gonna download and play my first Fallout game of all ever.
Ooh,
here soon, and I'll even try to do it on stream if I don't embarrass myself.
Dude, I'll jump in there and talk shit.
Sure. Oh yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun, man.
Yeah.
Late night, one of these nights.
And Evely, no hate for just wanting to escape and watch positive content. Like,
no, dude. I'm
100%,
I'm good. I'm used to having views that are not popular.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you are. I'm sure. I've never judged you for that. Not once.
Yeah.
Fine. Well, Evely, real quick, important question.
Okay.
Original Christopher Reeve Superman.
Haven't seen it. You knew I was going to. You had that ready to go.
I thought you would have seen it. I was about to say Based or Abraham Lincoln.
I just got the first season. They had it there, and it was on half price. It was crazy. They didn't have power. They had to handwrite down all the transactions. It took like a half hour to get checked out. Yeah, it was wild. Some lady hit a phone or an electric pole. Anyways, I got the first season of Lois and Clark. Which is
that's with Dean Cain. That's an old show.
Is it any good? It was 60 cents. I was like, I'll try it.
It's about the relationship and not about him being Superman.
It could actually be a good showcase of Superman storytelling for you.
Wait, so he never does Superman stuff?
He does, but not really. It's not what it's about. It's about Lois and Clark.
Is it funny?
It's funny.
He's like, "What's up, Lewis?" She's like, "Oh, not again." And then there's a laugh.
He's like, "Sorry, I'm super speed with everything. You know, like everything." It's like, okay, whatever. You said that last week.
He's like, "My hot dog's cold," and he cooks it with his laser vision.
That'd be so awesome. You guys are writing the show for them again.
Truth be told, like even like that, they came out with that My Adventures with Superman, like that animated show, just it's a weird show. It is filled to the brim with woke nonsense. But because they do a couple of things right, I don't hate it. I actually enjoy it a little bit.
Right.
It's brimming. It is it's overflowing with woke bullshit and bad and some like general like modern nonsense. But I still kind of enjoy it. That's saying a lot because they got some things really, really right.
Ooh, on this subject, I do want to add just very quickly on the Furiosa thing. There wasn't so much heavy-handed woke stuff that people are saying like they get a whiff of it or whatever and they run. It's like when she's fighting dudes, she gets the jump on him, hits him in the freaking face with something, so that dude's out obviously, or shoots him with a gun. That makes sense. Children can do that. So like,
if she were a president, she'd be Abraham Lincoln.
Children can do it, apes can't.
Anyway, they don't have her like climbing a mountain with a dagger like Galadriel, or swimming across the ocean, or like wrestling 3 men at once and winning.
Yeah, the 120-pound girl fighting off trained 250-pound soldiers.
Yeah,
like literal pro wrestlers. Yeah.
Kai, the interview with Kai. I hit the dude. Buddy just went down. Smash, smash, smash. Yeah.
It's like in that WWE fight here. I don't even remember what fight it was. But at one point, the guy, like they were across the mat, he just looks over him, and the guy falls like he got hit. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I don't even remember what the context was. I just remember, what am I watching to?
Dude, that's a gif.
I know what you're saying. I watched the movie, and I was going into it expecting to be hit in the face, much like that dude was, with all the messaging and
flop it on your forehead.
And you're right, it was interwoven in a way. You saw it. You were looking for it, like, there's a symbol. Look what he got there, and the thing on fire, and that represents this. And I'm watching him just like, okay, like it wasn't in your face that you're saying wasn't a pipe.
Yeah, they don't have her like overpower a man or anything like
Yeah.
that. It's very it was good, to be fair, but like it deserves the failure. That's my hope. That's where I'm at. It's kind of like Fallout, where like I can recognize the bad shit, but still give it like a passing grade. In Fallout's case, I am biased. I acknowledge my bias that I rate it better.
Hey guys, write down your movie selection for the next poll in the private chat, just so I have it in front of me. I'd appreciate it.
I need help with mine because I'm torn because you have yours and mine also is a similar movie. So
you and I have both watched enough. We could pick any other movie too. I can switch mine really easily.
Cowards.
All right,
we already established there's going to be no Blazing Saddles for next week because we know what movie will win.
We know
if
Blazing Saddles
is
would
up
win.
there.
I'm changing my mind so you can keep
Brokeback Mountain. Yeah,
That's a good Western.
Oh, I should.
That's a good Western. Heavily choose it.
You know the problem with that. If we put Brokeback Mountain as an option, they will vote for it just to make us fucking watch it.
That's exactly what I thought would happen with Jupiter Ascending. It did not work.
No, did not work.
I mean, besides that, it's the best movie ever made to this day.
Well, frankly, when it won the poll, I mean, we were spoiled for choice with the Jupiter Ascending poll.
That's true.
Dude, I can't. I'm embarrassed how much time I spent coming up with titles and making the freaking fake posters for that freaking poll. I took like 2.5 hours doing that.
Yeah,
those
it's a good pick, Emily. It's a good pick. All right, we got our picks,
and I got mine.
Hell yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna do so much propaganda.
You know what? F it. I'm going. We're going.
Just saying.
I'm
Western fans are going to be like super disappointed by these polls.
This is going to be the most disappointing Western poll of all time.
Oh, you're going that way?
Once you said, I'm like, I can't deny the chat the opportunity. Like, I'm going to be really happy with 3 of these selections.
Oh, no,
not mine.
Kahuna. I warned you, man.
I know what I'm doing.
Are you sure about that?
For the next poll for which movie us on here on the Iron Seas podcast will watch, from Mr. Everly Music, Back to the Future 3, Time Traveling Trains, Hoorah!
I love it.
And then Bat Sauce, Shanghai Noon,
also
with
love
Owen Wilson,
East and the West,
and Jackie Chan. It's like, your people ride, my people ride in the East, but your people set in the West. He doesn't know English. It's great. I love that movie.
Dude, Steve Carell does Shanghai Noon.
Pritchard Pub. Wild yet West, y'all. The movie Will Smith turned down The Matrix in order to perform in. What a wild.
Right.
It's like Jim Carrey turning down the role of Jack Sparrow to be in Yes Man. I like Yes Man, but he turned down the role of Jack Sparrow to be in Yes Man.
Wow. Imagine him as Jack Sparrow. Holy crap.
And my choice, the gayest Montana sheep-loving movie of all time, Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah.
So we're spoiled for choice here, boys. A perfect Western poll. Wild Yet West, Shanghai Noon, Back to the Future 3, and Brokeback Mountain. I have a story about that. An old coworker of mine, he went to see that movie in theaters on Valentine's Day with his girlfriend. He was the only straight man in the entire theater, and he was he never quite recovered from the experience.
Sure. I went with my girlfriend.
I totally went with my girlfriend. Yeah.
All right, guys. Hey, first off, we should have probably already said this. Like the video if you're watching this, and then maybe just some comments about these movies we've picked. Maybe come about where you can.
Why did you say cannibalism?
Because I'm talking about cannibalism in the chat.
That's such a weird thing to say.
Oh, it is.
Oh,
it is. Yeah.
Long kick.
Pastor Christ. Cut it down.
I stopped reading. What happened?
That's Brokeback Mountain.
Oh yeah, like that's the thing too. Before you watch that movie, your impression is, oh, they got stuck up there and like eventually they gave in to their 3 days.
3 days, yeah.
It's like like,
both
man,
got,
it's
like,
been a long time. I mean, it's either Belle Root with a woolen coat over here, or you, brother.
They both got ladies and stuff too, if I remember right.
They're both married. Yeah,
Bad. It sounds like a bad movie.
that says
really
a
good watching
lot, Herman.
Whoa.
That's a wild take.
I was gonna pick Wild Wild West too. You know, keep it in the Will Smith family for a while.
What a terrible family to be in.
How can I turn down the best Western? Because not only is it a Western, but it also adds the East. It's where the East meets the West. It's the
Shanghai
perfect
Noon-
combination.
Unironically,
West.
I really like that movie.
Yeah,
It's a really good movie. It's a really good movie.
It's a good Western. It's a good kung fu. It's a good action, and it's a good comedy.
It's a good Jackie Chan movie.
All of those, and an adventure movie. It is all of those things very, very well. That's all I wanted. It's like he he smokes the peace pipe with all the Indians. Like he passes it. Holy shit! This is powerful shit.
Yeah, that's good stuff, dude.
Jackie Chan, before a certain point, was in nothing but bangers, even as porno. But
he has a porno.
Yeah, you didn't know about that? It's like a dark path. Yeah, it was like the first thing he ever did. He doesn't like to talk about it. But no, this was before that time, before his movies kind of started to creep down. But yeah, it's like peak, or one of the peak like Jackie Chan movies.
Oh wait, who hasn't seen it?
I haven't.
I've seen it.
Oh,
You haven't seen
it?
No,
Emily,
I own it, but I haven't watched it yet. I've Shanghai.
You will genuinely love this movie.
You will.
Owen Wilson greatness too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow!
It's like,
Wow.
Why you gotta do me like that, Jackie?
Oh, it like it's not a spoiler. At the end of the movie, two characters are sitting there. It's like, yeah, no, I came up with a good cowboy name, John Wayne. No, John Wayne. It's a terrible cowboy name. Why you pick with that? It's like, and then it's like, well, what about you? I don't know. I guess I could use my real name, Wyatt Earp. No, that's a terrible cowboy name.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Oh, I love it, man. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's been nearly 2 hours. The first hour of which was discussing apes and making Bat Sauce angry. Yeah. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, AC, Pritchard Pub. Actually, let's do our shills. Evely, shill.
You can listen to my music. Just search for Evely on wherever you listen to music, Apple, Spotify, all that, Bandcamp. Yeah, all the places. And if you like chiptune, metal, rock, I got a couple albums like that, and then one that's more of like a death metal type stuff.
It's really good, guys. Don't let his excellent sales pitch deter you.
Evely is one of the best musicians I know.
He did the opening song for my YouTube channel. That's and I have people asking me where to buy that song fairly often. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I know people.
Yeah, dude. Nickels.
I know, man. I know. Ultimate Kahuna. Now, Joe Bat. Yeah, you're an aspiring author, right? Like someday you might publish it.
Yo, I feel listen, I feel like you need to have to really be considered an author, you have to have 2 books published. So I'm almost there.
So yeah, obviously.
It's like you wrote a book at once.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He wrote this book called Dawn Age, Planet of Babel. What a great if only you could do something like this.
So what is it about? It's about
all right. This time. Listen, if you like grim dark stories unlike Evely, this is a great story for you. It's great sci-fi, great action, got superpowered terrorists, got great mystery, clockwork elves. If you're into any kind of weird conspiracy shit, this is it.
Serious?
Men getting pregnant, dogs and cats living together, total chaos.
Serious? I told you wouldn't like it, Heavily. No, I think it's a fun story. And look, pick it up.
Cool. I haven't gotten
Amazon. Just Google Dawn Edge. $15 for soft cover, $5 on Kindle. $0.
Make sure you type in Dawn Edge, not Edge Dawn. You get a very
Dawn Edge book. There's some woman named Dawn Edge. It's like a scientist.
434 pages.
Yeah.
I know you guys
That's
are
a
all
chonker.
authors, and that's the best metric for measuring the length of a book. 434 pages.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I should have mentioned. I always forget. Like the whole premise is about an AI that's kind of got a utopia going on that's trying to discover the truth about God.
Spoilers.
That's what it is. It's the back of the book.
His name's Jorge.
All right.
Yeah.
So buy Dawn Edge. If you feel like never mind, I can't make that joke. AC,
Edging it.
shell your stuff, man. You got lots to shill.
Well, as you can see from the screens, that's my book.
It has a nice taste.
That Sauce has the most current cover. That is a combination of comic book art that I pulled the line work from and slapped together for a special cover.
The dead man felt the woman reaching up his leg underneath his leg.
Oh, sick. That looks so good. I don't even have that version, Bats. I need to get one. And Evely and Kahuna have the original.
We have the collector's edition.
Yes.
The ultimate edition, some would call it.
And Evely's has the little authenticity stamp there, the watermark that says that was one of the first ones ever printed ever. So,
yeah, man. Coolest thing in my collection.
Actually, that's a side gig for Evely. He's been selling them on the side and making a lot of money, man.
But yeah, you can find that on Amazon.com/author/AC Pritchard. Every purchase, I take that money and I put it right back into like my creative endeavors, like comics and stuff. Which, speaking of which, I've been learning how to color. I've been learning how to color. So essentially, that's going to lead to me making my own comic for my free stuff. I'm saying it here right now. I aspire to make a comic for spirit animals. My free stuff, spirit animals. acpritchard.substack.com for the free stuff. You can buy my book to help support and become the culture, and stay tuned for potential comics in the future, man. I'm doing a 7-day challenge, so go check it out on my Twitter. I've been posting one every morning. A_C_Pritchard over on X. So.
He's got a little bit of work to do before he can be as good as my coloring skills.
That's true. And also
I don't know about y'all, but I don't see color.
Black and white manga only. This Thursday we're having Herman P. Hunter, the Lore Forge, on at the Pritchard Pub to talk about stuff.
I have his book upstairs and moved down here.
So buy his book too.
I have two of his books. I have 2 of his books and one more on the way, man. You got great stuff going on. Great.
Yeah, that's my plug.
All right. And you can find me here, the Ultimate Kahuna, the Patriarch La Kahuna, on YouTube and on Twitter at the Ultimate Kahuna. This Saturday, coming up here, we are going to have our discussion about Deluxe Volume 6 of Berserk. We've been covering the Berserk manga, jumping between the Lord Otter's channel, Billy Bob Sack's channel, and mine as well. And so I'll be putting together some promotion for that, and a panel of us, including Joe Batts, will be there to discuss it so long as he can make it. And so, be there! Join us next time on the Iron Seas podcast, where we set sail upon the iron seas of fate. Next week, we potentially could have discussed a gay cowboy movie, but we'll see. We'll conquer the coming age. Hail the Iron Age!